Hello and welcome to Anthony Johnson Speaks, the podcast where we talk about love. I'm your host and emotional intelligence coach, Anthony Johnson. In each episode, we'll discuss various aspects of relationships: dating, marriage, attachment style, breakups, and mindset. After all, you need to have your mindset in check if you want to meet and keep a fantastic partner, right? We will also have a special focus on our friends and family in the military because military relationships can be a bit more challenging. And my mission is to serve. I speak from a psychology degree, numerous certifications, personal experience, practical insights, wisdom, and a long list of tools for personal growth, trust and confidence, and more intimate connections in your relationships. Whether you've just started dating or you've been married for years, join the 12-week Consciously Connected Couples program and learn to connect on a deeper, more intimate level. Check out anthony-johnson.com and Anthony Johnson Speaks on Insta and TikTok. And finally, don't forget, every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time, we will read your questions sent to the show from fan mail. To send a question from fan mail, simply open your podcast app and click on the link in the podcast description where it says, "Send a text message to the show." Thank you for tuning in, and let's begin this transformative love relationship journey together. Hello and welcome to Anthony Johnson Speaks, the podcast where we talk about all things love and relationships. So today I wanted to get a little more personal and kind of ask you the question personally. So you're out there, you're listening, and the questions that I want to ask you are, how is your relationship? If you are in a relationship with someone and you're considering that a romantic relationship, you're dating, you are married, or maybe you're in a long-term relationship and you haven't gotten married, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or more, how is the relationship going? How do you feel in the relationship? How is the communication? How are you talking about what you like, what you don't like, what you love, what you absolutely can't stand? How do you relate to one another in the relationship? And what's the dynamic of getting what you want, being happy, being fulfilled, being satisfied, and also feeling safe, feeling trustworthy, feeling honest, feeling authentic, and also feeling like your partner is also doing the same thing. So you feel safe, you feel secure, you're able to say whatever you want, whenever you want. You know that you're loved, you know that you're accepted, and you kind of have that feeling that your partner is also doing the same thing. And it doesn't matter what type of relationship you are in regarding gender, sexual orientation, relationships that are kind of in the romantic domain are pretty much the same. Men dating men, women dating women, men dating women, women dating men, polyamorous, whatever the dynamic is, there are certain things that you want, certain things that you need, and depending on who you are and your personas, your personality, your childhood, any type of trauma or things that activate your emotions, those relationships are going to be very different. So my question to you is, how is your relationship? How is your communication? and how do you feel in the relationship? And I think one of the key points is, do you feel loved? Do you feel accepted? And do you feel safe? Do you feel like the relationship is going to continue? Do you have confidence that the relationship is going to continue? And I will say, if you are in a relationship where in the beginning, your first date, your second date, you wore some type of mask, you were not completely yourself, you threw in a few tiny little lies, or you changed things or altered things just a little bit to sound a little bit better, or a little bit nicer, or like you had a little bit more money, or like you had a little bit more confidence, or whatever it is, and now you're in the relationship and you've gotten past the 3-month mark, or the 6-month mark, or the 12-month mark, or maybe even a few years. I'm curious to know how that dynamic is holding up. And did the truth come out? And if it did, how did that affect the relationship? If the truth has not come out, that means, in my opinion, you're still wearing some sort of mask or some portion of the mask. And a lot of times we'll get into relationships and we'll wear a mask. And depending on the mask that we wear, tiny little lie here and there, little ego boost here and there, the other person may do the same thing. So maybe if you say you make a certain amount of money, the other person may think that now they need to make a little more money. So now we have two people that are kind of avoiding telling the truth. So I don't know what happens in all cases, but in many cases, that leads to one partner or both partners feeling like they can't trust the other partner, or that the relationship is built on dishonesty. So I think the key here is to go into relationships, like I've always said in my other episodes, be honest, be open, be authentic from day one. And that pretty much ensures that going forward, the relationship will be stronger, you will be more honest, more open, and you will feel more loved, more accepted, and more secure in that relationship. Understanding that a lot of us have a lot of things going on in our minds when we start dating, and we have a lot of reasons why we don't feel like we can be honest. But if we don't, we should know that down the road, that's only going to cause problems. So I'm curious, please take a minute and answer the question. How is your current relationship? I'd be curious to know how long you've been in the relationship, and if you had to give it a score on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is a relationship that I want to leave today. 10 is a relationship that I love and I want to remain in the rest of my life. So are you a 1? Are you a 10? Or where are you in between 1 and 10? Maybe you're a 5, which is not really good. Maybe you're a 7.3. That's pretty good considering today's relationships. So if you want to call into the show, everything, or I should say text the show, information is in the show notes, but I would love to know how long you've been in your relationship and where you scale it on a 10 scale. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or is it a 10? Man, if it's a 10, you're probably not even listening to this podcast. Like, I don't think anybody that's a 10 is listening to a podcast about love, right? Or relationships, because they pretty much have it nailed. They know what they're doing. They know what they like. They know their relationship. They feel secure. And I don't believe that they're listening to a podcast about relationships. But, hey, I could be wrong. But in any case, wherever you are, give a shout and let me know. If you're in a relationship, how long have you been in it? And where does it fall on the 10 scale? Hopefully, you can at least come in at 7 or above. If you're not, then you have to ask yourself some serious questions. What can I do to make this relationship better? And if it's not something that you can work through to make the relationship better, or you don't believe that it is, then I think you kind of have to consider leaving the relationship. I mean, relationships are meant to be things that make us feel loved and welcome and accepted and safe. And we kind of have to be our true selves. So if you're in a relationship where on a 10 scale, it's less than a 7, then I would kind of think you would be in a position where you think you want to look for a relationship that's better. And before you do that, you need to leave the current relationship that you're in. So anyway, listening to this, listening to me, do take some time, think about your relationship, think about where you fall, and then drop a text and let me know. And I will help you out on the next episode. Thank you for listening, everyone. Enjoy your day. Hey everybody, that concludes our episode. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you got some valuable information. Please be sure to check out our other episodes, starting with episode number 11. Do you have a question? Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern, we will be answering your questions sent in through fan mail. For access to fan mail, go to the podcast app, look in the description, and click on the link where it says send a text message to the show. Check out anthony-johnson.com for the 12-week Consciously Connected Couples program, where you will learn to connect on a deeper, more intimate level. Also, Anthony Johnson Speaks on Insta and TikTok. Thank you for listening, and please be sure to download the episode, send to a friend, and tune in for the next upcoming show. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great day.